You got here before I did. I wasn't quite ready. All right, so today's Friday. Woo woo! Today is Friday. Friday. I love Fridays. They're my easiest days. Typically on Fridays we make pizza. That's our favorite to have. But it's not the kind you just chuck in the oven, nor is it the kind that you order out. We make it home. We make it from scratch, and it is delicious. I'm going to try and teach you today two ways. The first way is the way I know best, using these. I'm going to use these. We're going to have pizza. We don't need any other special equipments or anything. Just these. So if you have this, you can make homemade pizza. But second to that, I'm going to try and use this. I don't own one, or I own one now. I've never owned one. I've never used one. I've never touched one. This was gifted to me a few weeks back, and if you look back, you'll see all that, how it came in with all the kitchen appliances and whatnot. But I'm going to try and use this and see how it works. Hopefully it won't be a catastrophe and I won't have flour flying everywhere, Well, then, you know what? I'll leave that in too if that happens. But let's get to heating up the oven and making some pizza. And maybe you can have pizza tonight in less time than takeout, less money than takeout. And you can have it in your belly 20 minutes, 15 minutes, tops. Let's go. Okay, we're going to start with the stand mixer. The ingredients are the same for both, but I'll go over it each time. For this, we're going to add 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 3 tablespoons baking powder, 1 tablespoon oil, 3/4 and 2 tablespoons water, and a teaspoon of salt. That's all you. Oops, sorry, I'm a little crooked. That's all you need for this. So let's get started. All right, well, let's get started. It doesn't look like rocket science, right? I got the hook on. All I did was turn it. There's like a little hole in the bottom here and a little nub there. I put it on like this, like so. Pushed it up and twisted it, and it locked in place. Everything's washed, cleaned, ready to go. So I guess I'm just going to get to getting, I guess. Let's start. You need 2.5, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, hold on. I put too much flour in here. Okay, I remember when I was putting it in there that I put in 3 cups. It's not 3 cups, it's 2.5 cups. So it's 2.5 cups all-purpose flour in there. We need 3 teaspoons baking powder. I'm really excited about using this. I mean, it looks simple enough. I don't know what I was scared of. We need a teaspoon of salt. Should I mix this before? I don't know. Let's give it a, before we do that, just with the dry ingredients in there, just because I want to give it a good old whisk before I start adding in the wet. I don't know. I'm funny like that. Maybe you could tell me what I'm doing, if I'm doing wrong, if I'm doing right. I just wanted to mix those together before I started adding the water. You can or don't have to use that step. Okay, so it calls for 3/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons water. I don't always put it all in there because sometimes I don't need all the water. Sometimes I need the water, and sometimes I need even more water. But this is the 2 tablespoons right here. 2 tablespoons. This is the 2 tablespoons. This is the oil. I usually mix it in with this just so I can get it out. It's really not necessary, but for me, for my idiosyncrasies, I do it that way, just to make sure we get all of the oil out of this container. All right, so we're just going to put the thing down. We're going to add some water, and we're going to get to getting. I hope it's not too loud. I've never even turned this thing on. I hope it works. Wouldn't that be terrible? Well, that just locked in place. Let's pour some water in here. Oh, well, I guess I did put it all in here. Didn't want to, but I did. Let's see what happens. That might be a little bit too fast. Well, let's just see what it does, and we'll go from here. Maybe it needs more water. Maybe it don't. I want to get in there and help it, but I'm scared. It might need more water. I don't want to rush the process because I'm afraid, because I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm trying, you know, we're doing this together. It may need some more water. It's very shaggy looking. See what happens. Oh, high isn't the way to go. I'm wearing it. I'm just going to turn it off until this is done, and I'll come back and show you when it's like almost near done. All right, so here are my thoughts. For me, this is okay. It came out, it's right, it's the way it should be. Whoops. It just seemed like a whole lot of work for not a lot of benefit. It was about the same amount of time mixing it in there than mixing it with my hand. But that's it. That's the dough. We're just going to let this rest until we're ready to use it. It comes out. Let me just show you something. Even though it's already kneaded, I just want to show you something, how you want it to look when it comes out. When your dough comes out, kind of like there's no dry spots in it anymore, right? And then when you touch it, it'll dimple. See, here's the dough. And when you touch it, it'll dimple and not snap right back, but it comes back relatively quick. Put a little bit of oil on top of these. Now again, you'll know it's done, because look. Now it doesn't come right straight back, but it definitely bounces back, and that's what you're looking for, the consistency you're looking for. This will make 2 small pizzas or 1 large pizza. So I'm going to make another batch real quick, and I'll show you how to do this by hand now. All right, here's the hand method. We have 2½ cups of flour, 3 teaspoons baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, tablespoon of oil. I did it differently that time, right? Trying to catch you up in it. All right, and then we're going to need the water, and we're going to start mixing. Where's my whisk? I'm going to whisk that around. I've told the story many times when I forgot to whisk before I started mixing everything in. I got a giant mouthful of baking powder in one of my bites, and then a giant mouthful of salt in another. It was terrible. So you don't ever want to do that. So that's what I did. Then I'm just going to start adding the water. This flour is very dry, so I'm just dumping it in. I might need more or less, who knows. If I put too much in, then I can always just put a little bit more flour in here. But really, it's not. This flour is very, very dry. It's been in my refrigerator. I've had it in my freezer for a time because I don't like leaving it sitting out when I buy a lot of it. And I bought a big bag of it because I've been doing a lot of baking and the baking season's coming up. So I had it in the freezer, so it's real dry. So and I'm just going to get it on my hands. Before I go trying to add more water, because it looks like it needs it, I'm just going to start squeezing and mushing. And that's exactly 3/4 cup, 2 tablespoons. See, now I'm mixing it. It's starting to get a little bit wet. I don't stay in the bowl long because I just feel like I can do it better on the counter than I can in this little bowl. If I had a bigger bowl, maybe, but, you know, I'm just going to keep working it until I feel like I got to go to the counter, which is right now. Because trying to get my arm in like this is uncomfortable. And my counter is clean. Just washed it all down before we started. Now I've got flour on my shirt. You got to run to the store and buy the cheese. I forgot to get the cheese for pizza. I got some. I didn't have enough. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to add just a pinch of more water to this one. That's why I said sometimes, you know, the recipe is pretty exact, but that doesn't mean that it's always going to be proper. There's a lot of things that go into play here. Like I said, I kept, ooh, that might be too much water. I kept mine in the freezer and it dries it out. For me, at least that's my experience. I don't know about yours, but mine. And how do you put it in? Do you spoon it in like you're supposed to? Did you scoop it out? There's a lot of things that go into play for that. So, sometimes I hate touching my clothes, but sometimes you need a little bit more water. Oh, that's going to be fine right there. That's all I needed was that. Oops. What was that? And then also, if you need a little bit, you throw a little bit of the flour on your counter so that when you're kneading it, it doesn't pick up. You don't want to put too much. So I'm just going to keep working this just a little bit. It might, you know, if it needs a little more water, because you see how shaggy it is. And when I'm putting water in it, I'm basically just wetting the back part of this spoon and just kind of like that. Because I don't want to put, like, dump it, like it just did. Okay? But this flour, for some reason today, is very, very dry. Oh, there we go. Okay. And then you're just going to take it like this. You get your piece. What I do is I fold it over and push it away. Fold it over, push it away. Fold it over, push it away. Fold it over and push and push and push until you get the consistency that you want. I'm just trying to get some of the moisture from the inside out. Like that's what I'm doing this for. This is not a technique. It's just me trying to hurry the process along a little bit. So you do that. Now I'm going to do this for a minute or two and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've been rolling it for about maybe 30 seconds or so more than what you saw, and it came together rather quickly. Let me show you what I mean. Try and show you it nice and flat like with all these seams in it, but it doesn't seem like it wants to do that for me today. All right, so I got my little ball here, and we know it's good because look, now the glutens are all nice and tight in the flour. See? And that's it. I'm going to put it in a pan with a little wet rag over it, a little bit of oil on top so it doesn't dry out because I'm doing this earlier in the day. I got to run. I got to get some cheese for tonight because I didn't have enough cheese. And for you, it'll be a minute. For me, it'll be a couple hours. I'll be back. All right, I did some checking. A friend of mine said rather than using this hook, I should have been using this one. So let's give it a try. I had to make 3 batches anyway. So I got 2 cups in here. Here's the additional 1/2 cup. 3 tablespoons baking powder. 1 teaspoon salt. And then we have the oil and the water, but I want to mix this around a little bit before I do that. Let's hope this works better. Okay, so we need a tablespoon of oil. I got this oil. I couldn't believe what a deal I got on it. It's like $7. Well, seven something. So maybe let's call it 8. Extra virgin olive oil. Maybe it's the cheap stuff. I don't know. And we're going to add some water. It's 3/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons, but we all know that's not an exact measurement, right? Put this down like that. Let's see how much better this paddle does than the other paddle. Like I said, it's a learning experience for me as well. Oh, you know what? It is mixing better that way. Wow, what a difference did that make? Well, I was making dough, and it was a dough hook. Yeah. Let me stop this and show you what's going on here. It's really like mixing well. I'm not even going to need all the water. Pull that back. There's still water in here. And then the 2 tablespoons over here. Now the other one, I had to use all the water. I mean, this can only go so far, taking it away from the edge. It's coming clean off the edge. Wow, what a difference that made. It's jumping all over though because it's lumpy in there. What a difference a day makes. So, there you have it. That was the trick. I used the incorrect paddle. Still have to sticks it. It's got one of them. Oops! It's got one of them suction things on the bottom. I can't move it. But yeah, that came together quickly. Now that would be worth it. The other one, not so much. Not for this. But again, I'm going to knead this a little bit with my hands to get it into the ball. And, you know, just flatten it out a little bit. Fold and push away. Fold and push away. That's it. All right, I'll show you when it's done. It's going to take me about another minute just to get that ball into what I like. Again, that took me less than 30 seconds. There. Boom. I don't know if you could see it. See? See the little dimple? Now, it doesn't pop straight back out, but that's what you want. It does come back out eventually, but I was pushing hard. You just push a little soft, you get little dimples, and they come right back out. That's it. That's done. I've made 3 pizza doughs in just a couple of minutes. So I have to go to the store now, go get the cheese. I'll be back. For, like I said, for you guys, it'll just be a minute, but for me, I got to run to the store. Okay, let's get started. It's been hours for me. I got the pizza dough sitting over here. Counter is clean. Hands are clean. I'm just going to start getting it ready. So this might need a little bit of flour on the counter. I got some right here. I also have in here is a little bit, you can use what you want. This is some cornmeal. I sprinkle this on the pan before I put the dough on it because it keeps it from sticking to the pan. I don't know what they do at the pizzeria, but you ever get that pizzeria, you got those little crumblies underneath, semolina or whatever they use. I don't know what they use, but this is what I'm using. So use what you want. That's what I use. I'm going to put a little bit of flour down on the counter. I don't want it too much. A little on the thing there. And we're going to start rolling. Now, this is what I was taught. I've showed this technique a few times. I was taught by an Italian guy who owns a pizzeria. I cannot spin pizza. tried, can't happen. I try every time, but what the trick is to spinning the pizza. Now, I start like this because that's just how I start. I don't know if this is the way to start it, but that's how I start it. And I just start stretching it like it's a steering wheel. Bump, bump, bump. The trick to getting it good and big is that he told me to hang it over the counter and then just keep doing this and keep stretching and pulling when it's over there like that. And the gravity was then going to stretch out my my dough. I tried the rolling pin. I do the rolling pin if I want. I do this. You know, whatever you got to do to get your pizza round. I even rolled it out real big and then put here's Eric's pan, put the pizza pan on top of it like this, and it leaves a dent. So then I would just kind of cut around so it's nice and big. But that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to start stretching out my dough. And my kids like it thin. So what I do with the extra dough when I'm done, because I always end up making too much, is I fry it. Comes out like a Zeppoli, depends on who you ask. And I stick it in some confection sugar. So not only do they have dinner, but they also have a dessert. And they love them. So I'm going to stretch mine out real thin. They like it. What do they call it? Napolitan. I think that's what it's called. But don't quote me on it, because I'm not Italian. Now this should make, the recipe says this makes one 12-inch or two 8 inches. I know. I say it every time. Doesn't sound like the math to me, but that's what it is. And I usually make Eric's pizza first because he needs a special kind of cheese. So some people like their dough thicker. Some people like their dough thinner. So, and does it have to be round? I don't think so. It's nice when it's round. I like this. I'll show you. I'll go like this. Watch. Let me get a sharp little, you know, I don't need a knife. I need a pizza cutter. And what I would do is just go boom, right around like that. See that? Boom. Now you got a round end. Let's see. And because I don't eat that much, if I don't take this dough and make something with it, I'll make a teeny tiny little pizza for me. I also like to build up the crust this way because I didn't know how to build a crust up, because I was like, well, how do they make a crust like that? I don't know how they do. What I do is I take it and I just kind of like go around the edge like that and just fold it down and mush it in with my fingers, and it becomes a pizza crust. So that's why, you know, I don't always cut it anymore, because I want it a little bit bigger so that I can fold it around and it's still round. I'm rubbing this in. It's probably going to stick to the counter like this. And how do I get it off the counter? I take this, I roll it on, I pick it up, I put it on that pan, I start adding the cheese. I'm sorry about this wire. Christmas time, I hope to have a wireless mic. I was hoping to get it on Black Friday, but that didn't happen. So that's one pizza starting. And you see, look, if I press around the edges like this, it leaves a dent in the pizza. So I'll know like where my crust is going to be. And I like it like that. So I'll show you what I'll do. I'll put this down. Gonna sprinkle some on here like that. As such. Just enough so it won't stick. I don't do any of the rolling in the pan because I've done that before. And then when I did it that way, it actually did stick. And I wasn't happy about that. Trying not to move it where it moves all the dough and everything. Not the dough, this here stuff. The cornmeal. All right, and we just lay it down. Boom. There's your pizza. It didn't take me that long to make it this morning, and it's not going to take that long to cook. It's going to take like maybe anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes inside the pizza. Inside the oven. And what I do here is I just take some of the crust, some of the extra dough, not the crust. I'm talking, so I'm not doing what I typically would do on the counter. I would have fitted this closer to the pan, but and all I do is I just fold it over the end like that, and that's my pizza crust. I don't know how you make pizza crust. I don't know how anybody else makes pizza crust, but it works for us. That's how we do it, and I don't want to make it stick either. So just going to do the ends like that. Let me finish doing this, and I'll show you when I'm done. All right. So I made the crust for Eric. I'm not very good at making crust, but it comes out fine. This is Eric, so it's not going to get regular cheese. His gets this plant-based mozzarella because he can't have dairy. Very allergic, as I say in every video. And I'm just going to... Oh, I was like, what's that? It was a piece of cheese. I'm just going to put some sauce on here. Right up to the edge. Because you know the pizza sauce goes right. And I did buy a jar. We've used this already a couple of times. Just regular old Great Value pizza sauce. I put it in this bowl here because I warmed it up a little bit. Is this thing... For a minute, because I wasn't recording. That's funny. Like, is this thing on? I'm doing this. So you hear all the kids are being very noisy upstairs because they just came home from school and they're a little bit on the hyper side. But, yep, here we go. That's that. Throw some of his mozzarella cheese on here. And I do the same thing with the regular pizza. Eric likes a lot on his. Who doesn't like a lot of cheese, right? Now his smells like, I want to say, smells like Parmesan cheese or something like that. All right, so his is going to go in the oven. Hold on a second. I'll pause you real quick. All right, I put his in for 12 minutes, 425 degrees. Going to go onward, forward to Trey's, because he's got to get to work. Let's get him done. All right. So here comes Trey's, and this is just a scooper. It seems like to be the right size scooper. This is from the iced tea jug or lemonade jug. Lemonade, Kool-Aid, lemonade. They have these already in there. And the only thing I didn't do to Eric's, I forgot, is I usually take a little olive oil or butter or something, and I put it on the, that's too much. I don't know what I'm doing, I'm talking. I put it on the edges. It makes the edges brown up really nice. It doesn't always look like. And I'm going to tell you, this pizza does taste like the pizzeria. My one grandson, the one I call Trey, he will not eat any pizza unless it's from the pizzeria. And he says to me the other day, Grandma, what? What's today? I said, Friday. He says, is it Friday pizza day? Yeah, well, I'm making something else. So he wanted me to make the pizza. And I'm like, well, that's high praise indeed, because this kid will not eat
any pizza that doesn't come from, he will not eat frozen. He'll eat leftover pizza, but you got to cook it in the oven. You can't, hit it in the microwave. It's just how he prefers his pizza. And hey, we all have our thing, right? So this is the bottom of a bag I've already used once before. So I usually use at least one of these. Sometimes I'll use two. But it depends on how heavy-handed I am with the cheese, because I know that the kids like a lot of cheese on theirs. So, all right. Well, that's pizza number 2 going in the oven. 12 minutes later, we'll be back when it's time to, and toppings. I have pepperoni toppings, we have pineapple, we have ham, we have green peppers, we have all that. So whatever you want. I gave you the base of how to make the pizza. Now you make it your own, and then tell me what you did. Here we go. We're about to cut right into that. See how it came out. Okay, there goes Aiden's pizza. Pepperoni, his favorite. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Let's get to taste testing. Okay, my taste tester's back in his pajamas. He's starting to feel well. Now, his pizza is not regular cheese, so it doesn't melt like ours does. So let's give her a go, Eric. Really good, huh?
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Love it.
I always love the pizzas.
I always love pizza. That's right. Especially even the kind we make on the tortilla shells, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. Well, there you go. We'll be back with one of the other kids with the regular pizza. Hello, Eden.
Hi.
You're going to show them what the regular pizza tastes like and see how you like it. Pepperoni's your favorite, right? All right. Let's go.
I can't read.
Get in your bell.
Amazing.
Yeah?
Even better than amazing. Awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome sauce.
Awesome sauce. That's good. All right, before you burn yourself, let me get off of this. All right, well, I'm glad you like it, Aiden.
Thank you.
We're on to the next pizza. And that is Tyler's pizza. He has pepperoni, red pepper, and pineapple. Look at that. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And my family's laughing at me. And there is my teeny tiny personal pizza. I made that one small. It's about from my hand over, but that's the size that I eat always. I don't eat a big pizza, so there you have it. That is pizza homemade for 6 people. All right, so here you go. Here's your wrap up. That's all that's left out of 6 pies. Well, 5 and a teeny tiny for me. But they ate it up. It's been sitting for a bit. I had to run my other grandson to work real quick, so it looks a little dry. But it was absolutely a hit. We had different kinds. We had everything from pepperoni pizza to pineapple pizza to pepper pineapple, and just all of it we were eating. So like I said, you can make this your own. It's really, really good. So there you have it. I hope you try it and make it, and I hope you like it. And please, could you please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Bye-bye.